Hello, and welcome to another round of Sarah Sagan's question time. And today's question is around, Sarah, what does it really take to reach and slash or succeed at C-suite level? I've done another video on that in the past where I talk about some of more the practical aspects. But in today's video, I'm going to be talking more about mindset and focus. So, two things I'm going to be talking about today in relation to those leaders that seem to sail effortlessly up to the C-suite and earn the respect of everyone around them and seem to know how to influence their team. They don't tend to be obsessive and needy about getting to the C-suite. And a lot of the reason for that is because they are not seeking it as a form of external validation of how good they are or how clever they are. And if you have even a few thoughts around, I want to get up to the C-suite because then people will respect me, my family, my friends, and I'm going to have all the things. You may be conscious of this, or it may be something that's running subconsciously. Then you tend to be looking to get something in order to make you feel a certain way. Now, these leaders that I'm talking about, the superstar ones, already feel good enough without the need for the title. So when you have that kind of needy, please help me because I need to prove myself energy, it's understandably off-putting. And that kind of energy is lacking from those kind of leaders that I'm talking about. So the ones that seem to make it look easy. Now, I want to create a distinction here because I still want to emphasize that they worked very hard to get where they end up at, whether that's CEO level or whether that's elsewhere within the C-suite. They network with the right people, they care deeply about what they do. That last aspect being very, very important because you want that fire for what you do. But they don't have that needy energy, as I said. And you might say to me, well, why does that even matter? Even if I am needy and obsessive, other people aren't going to know that. Well, actually, other people can feel it because it comes across in your non-verbal communication. Your energy will come across even if you think that you're hiding it well. So, for example, if you are going into a negotiation with this kind of desperate energy, how do you think you're going to perform? How do you think the other side is going to perceive you? And how do you think it's going to show up in your non-verbal communication? So, how you speak, your tone of voice, your body language, versus if you were in an emotionally neutral place where you were just there rationally to reach a solution. Another distinction I want to make here is that it doesn't mean that these individuals that I've talked about don't want things, i.e., they might want to progress, they have ambition, etc. But it's just that they don't need it in order to validate their existence and place in the world. The other interesting thing that I've observed through working with these kind of executives is that they recognize the importance of all areas of life. So it's quite normal, and this can go along with this kind of needy energy, that executives have this highly obsessive over-focus on one area of life. And if they're coming to me, that's usually career. And obviously that can get tied up with financial as well. And I completely get the logic. If I don't put all my focus on this one area, I'll never ever make it. Now, that is actually far from the truth. Because coming from that energy, yes, you may well make it to the top. But what you will find is that kind of feeling of emptiness, that lack of satisfaction or purpose or happiness that you thought you'd get when you achieved C-suite level or whatever else, other goals that you set out of that same mindset. Or the alternative situation that I tend to see recur is that they find that there seems to be a ceiling in what they can achieve, and they feel like they're pushing against this ceiling and they can't push forward anymore or progress, no matter how many more hours of work they put in. So, in other words, the things that got them to where they are not getting them to the next level. So, this point is key, and it tends to be more common among executives who are successful and happy. All areas of life are interconnected, and focusing your attention more broadly beyond work does not decrease your success. It actually increases your success. And of course, you're happier as well because you are broadening that focus. And if you are already resisting this and saying, Sarah, well, I just don't have the time, I'm going to say, no one that I work with has bags of time to sit around and focus on this. There are 8 areas of life. I talk about these in another video if you want to explore that. But even just putting a few minutes of effort a day into each of these areas of life, or even having intention and attention towards them, the compound effect of that over time has an impact upon your happiness levels and your success levels. And when I talk about success, I mean success inside and outside of work.